one of the main things is like, do I want to put myself back on a career path where I'm just always a romantic lead? Like fidelity in every relationship, and especially my marriage, is important.
You want it? Don't give it to him.
Just keep restraint.
Yeah, just do a little bit of restraint.
Right, come on back.
Penn Badgley just dropped a serious truth bomb about Blake Lively, and it's not pretty. While the world worships her flawless looks, designer style, and A-list glow, the real Blake is a whole different story. That sweet, charming image? Just a mask. According to Penn, the mean girl energy was real, and she allegedly went out of her way to sabotage his career. Sounds like drama, but it gets even messier. Meanwhile, Alabama Barker just shook things up with a major Justin Bieber bombshell. And it's wild. But that's not all. New conversations about Bieber's past are surfacing, and they're disturbing. Some are even claiming his own mother may have handed him over to Diddy during his early rise to fame. It's not just online speculation anymore. People are digging into the dark side of Bieber's stardom, and what they're uncovering is seriously chilling.
Here's another example of the Dusty ex-boyfriend effect. Blake Lively dated Penn Badgley for a few years. Now, I know nothing about this relationship, but this is what we are considering the unfulfilled relationship. It doesn't mean it's a bad relationship. Doesn't mean it was toxic. It just means it wasn't fulfilling what either of them needed. So they break up. And then what happens? She briefly dates the Dusty guy. Now, Leonardo DiCaprio is very famous, good looking, all the things, right? So like to call him Dusty seems silly. But what I mean by this is he's not for commitment. This man is for the streets, and we all know that. So was it fun? I'm sure it was. But that's all it was. Fun. And then what happened? Boom! Husband!
Now back to Blake. Ever heard the rumors about her sabotaging co-stars? Well, this time it's more than just whispers. What she did to Penn was downright foul. Imagine showing up to set ready to work, only to realize your lead co-star, the one you're supposed to share major on-screen chemistry with, can't stand you. Worse, she's secretly turning the entire cast against you. That's exactly what happened when Gossip Girl began filming. And the kicker? Blake didn't even deny it. She flat out admitted it in an old interview. Cold.
Well, one thing Blake Lively loves to do is tell on herself. So in a newly resurfaced interview from 2009 in Glamour magazine, Blake Lively opened up about how she tried to poison the cast of Gossip Girl against Penn Badgley. So we now know that she had Mr. Armie Hammertime fired from Gossip Girl after just 4 episodes, and now it appears she tried to do the same thing to Penn Badgley. Apparently she wasn't too pleased with Mr. Badgley when he was first cast. She didn't like the choice, so she tried to taint the rest of the cast against him, but once they realized what a good guy he was, she realized that she lost the battle. Funny enough, she ended up dating Penn Badgley later on. So, falling for a guy, dating him, maybe wanting to date him. I don't know, maybe he got to see the yummy, flirty side of...
Let's get back to Blake. And no, this isn't just gossip. She admitted to isolating Penn Badgley on the set of Gossip Girl. No twisting words here. Blake made sure the entire cast was on her side, leaving Penn completely out in the cold. She didn't want him there. She didn't like him. And she made damn sure everyone else felt the same way. Tell me, what kind of behavior is that? The wildest part? Penn didn't even do anything to deserve it. It took the rest of the cast nearly a week to realize Blake was just hating on him for no reason. Like, seriously, how does that even make sense? And let's talk about how this all played out. While Blake went on to become Hollywood's golden girl, Penn basically vanished. Yeah, he's having a comeback now thanks to you, but after Gossip Girl, he was low-key blacklisted. And now that we know what was going on behind the scenes, it's not hard to connect the dots. Blake wasn't just a rising star, she had serious pull. Once she locked it down with Ryan Reynolds, aka Hollywood royalty, her influence skyrocketed. Suddenly, the media was eating out of the palm of her hand. She was cozying up to A-listers, making power plays, and producers. They were falling in line. So when Blake made it clear she wasn't rocking with Penn, that was all it took. His career flatlined, and nobody questioned it. Think that sounds far-fetched? Let's be real. This wouldn't be the first time Blake played this exact game. Ever heard about the mess surrounding It Ends With Us? People have been side-eyeing the way Blake, along with some conveniently aligned cast members, has been sidelining Justin Baldoni, just like she did with Penn. And it's not just internet chatter. The legal drama between Baldoni and the studio is ugly. And through it all, Blake's been keeping her hands clean while still moving the pieces behind the scenes. Let's not forget Colleen Hoover either. When the behind-the-scenes drama on It Ends With Us came to light, Colleen was so embarrassed she ghosted social media and even considered stepping away from the spotlight entirely. And even though she's back now, it's like Blake doesn't exist in her world. No tags, no mentions, nothing. And Blake's response? The classic Hollywood move. She unfollowed Colleen. Coincidence? Not likely. Fans have noticed that nobody from the It Ends With Us cast is stepping up to defend Baldoni. And why would they? Just like Colleen, they're probably too embarrassed to admit they ever trusted Blake in the first place. Because let's face it, she's been playing puppet master for years, twisting narratives, throwing people under the bus, and somehow always coming out looking spotless. And no matter how many co-stars, journalists, or fans have called her out, Blake's image remains untouchable. But not anymore. Between the mess with Penn and the current chaos surrounding Baldoni, the cracks in her picture-perfect image are finally starting to show. People are waking up to who she really is. And here's where it gets even wilder. After all the hate Blake threw at Penn, they actually dated. Yep, for 3 whole years. Then, out of nowhere, she dropped him and ran straight into Ryan Reynolds' arms. Cold. And if that wasn't shady enough, leaked messages have surfaced that add fuel to the fire. Some people believe she may have had a thing for Baldoni too, just like she did with Penn's same script. Same manipulation. At the end of the day, Penn Badgley might just be another casualty of Blake's Hollywood power trip. Some even believe she made sure he never got the roles or recognition he truly deserved. Sure, Blake might be seen as a seasoned actress now, but let's be honest, without Ryan's influence, her career might have looked very different. But if there's one thing Blake does exceptionally well, sabotage. And you've got to give it to her. She's the undisputed queen of taking people down while keeping her crown sparkling clean.
Okay, when it comes to the whole Blake Lively thing, if you have not seen the video of her being rude to the reporter, first of all, watch it. She pulls this whole sort of like, I wonder if the men are being asked about the costumes thing, because she, I think, is trying to imply that a question that she's asked about the costuming of the film is sexist. And I saw someone write in on YouTube and go, ma'am, you're in a Woody Allen movie. Take a seat. But if you watch this interview too, basically the entire time, she doesn't even look at the interviewer. She talks to Parker Posey the entire time. She's incredibly rude. And all I have to say is, some of you were not on the Gossip Girl message boards, and it...
While Blake Lively's out here playing chess with people's careers, Alabama Barker is setting fire to reputations in her latest diss track. Ruthless. So ruthless, in fact, that bad baby is ready to throw hands. And no, this isn't some petty internet spat. This beef is spiraling, and fast. Alabama had been teasing her diss for weeks, and now that it's out, phew, she ate. The whole track is a direct response to Baby's song Overcooked, where Baby came in swinging. But Alabama didn't flinch. She clapped back hard, and now it's officially payback season. Bad Baby did not take it well. She's furious to the point where she said if they ever cross paths, it's on sight. And no, not in an IG Live kind of way. We're talking full-blown showdown. Honestly, with the way things are going, that clash might come sooner than anyone thinks. Here's the thing, Alabama better watch her back. Because if you've been keeping tabs on Bad Baby, you already know she doesn't just talk tough, she acts. This is the same girl who stays in drama, has a history of fighting literally everyone, and once threw hands with her own mother, then posted the video like it was a flex. Wild, but that's her brand. Baby's been in beefs with half the internet, her baby daddy, Soulja Boy, Tyga, and now Alabama. But this feud? It feels personal. You'd think it was just another music rivalry since Baby threw the first shots with Overcooked. But the moment Alabama stepped in the booth and fired back, Baby snapped. All it took was a snippet of Alabama's track going viral, and Baby lost it. She called Alabama fake, a liar, and accused her of clout chasing. But what really set her off? Alabama allegedly messing with Baby's man. Baby's exact words, instead of being sorry, you're making diss tracks. Girl, what is wrong with you? You don't make no sense. You're coming for me like you weren't with my man. If you were really sorry, you would have just said it. But nah, you'd rather be messy. Meanwhile, Alabama? completely unbothered. She's still promoting the track like baby's threats don't mean a thing. But let's be real. If this keeps escalating, we're looking at more than just music drama. This is a real-life feud with real consequences. Does Alabama really want that smoke? Because baby's not the type to back down. And if these two ever end up in the same room, it's going to pop off. Alabama didn't just spit a few bars and call it a day. She went in. She dragged baby's looks, surgeries, called out her parenting, and even threw jabs at Levon for allegedly trying to get with her. It was scorched earth level petty. That, of course, baby wasn't about to let slide. She clapped back fast, dragging Alabama's flow, mocking her delivery, and basically calling her a wannabe. But behind the music, things in baby's personal life are spiraling just as hard, maybe even worse. Because while the diss track drama is lighting up the internet, what's happening at home is total chaos. Her relationship with her mom, Barbara, is hitting rock bottom. The two have always had a volatile dynamic. But lately, it's gone nuclear. Fights, public callouts, shady posts, and yep, even more leaked videos. At this point, it's not just drama, it's damage. And with everything unraveling at once, you have to wonder, is Bad Baby losing control?
You that my daughter is not a fighter. My daughter is not a fighter, but I am. Tell your daughter to leave my daughter alone.
Would you believe that just days after Bad Baby and her mom Barbara's WWE-style showdown, Barbara is now out here defending her daughter? Yep, the same mom who was throwing hands with her last week is suddenly calling out Soulja Boy and baby's baby daddy, Levon. And she is not holding back. Barbara is going off, accusing Levon of isolating baby from everyone in her life just to control her money. And if that wasn't wild enough, she's also exposing him for still messing around with his other baby mama while living in baby's house. If that's true, this man is running a whole scam. He's been blamed for ruining baby's career, damaging her relationships, and worst of all, destroying her mental health. But before anyone starts applauding Barbara for finally standing up for her daughter, let's not get ahead of ourselves. This whole thing got messy fast. Levon wasn't about to take the heat without clapping back. He called Barbara a hypocrite and claimed the real reason she's upset is because she no longer has access to baby's money, just like back in the day. And we all know how that turned out. Then came the jaw-dropper. Levon took things way too far by bringing up an incident from Barbara's past, a deeply personal one that should never have been mentioned, especially without baby's permission. In a gut-wrenching accusation, he claimed that Barbara repeatedly chose men over her daughter. Not just any man, but one who allegedly essayed baby. Instead of protecting her child, Barbara allegedly covered for this man and expected baby to stay silent. That revelation left fans completely stunned. But by the end of this explosive feud, one thing became painfully clear. Bad Baby has been surrounded by toxic people her entire life. The same people who are supposed to protect her have used and betrayed her. And unless she finds a way to break that cycle now, it might be too late. And amidst all this chaos, there's one question no one seems to be asking. Who is actually looking out for Bad Baby? Let's not forget she's publicly said she's battling cancer. What she needs is support, not more drama. But sadly, her story isn't unique. So many young stars seem to follow the same tragic path. Toxic environments, bad influences, and a stolen childhood. Speaking of messy upbringings, let's talk about Justin Bieber. Because if you thought Baby's story was bad, Justin's journey was equally twisted. And once again, the people closest to him played major roles in his struggles. We all remember when Justin Timberlake and Usher were fighting over who got to sign him. On the surface, Bieber's rise looked like a dream. A kid discovered on YouTube quickly skyrocketing to global fame. But behind the scenes, a very different story. With rumors swirling about his mental health, a lot of blame is now landing squarely on his mom, Patty Millett. Some say Patty sold her son out. Others argue she was a desperate single mom trying to give him a better life. But to really understand her decisions, including handing Justin over to Diddy, you have to look at her past. And what you'll find is tragic. Patty's early years were a nightmare. She's spoken openly about being abused from age 3 to 13 and turning to substances as a teen. She had Justin just before her 18th birthday, raising him alone in a low-income neighborhood while juggling multiple jobs. So when Justin blew up on YouTube, it must have felt like divine intervention. Enter Scooter Braun and Usher, industry giants promising to make Justin a star. Patty saw them as saviors. She signed the contracts and trusted them to protect her son. But was she too trusting? Because that one decision landed Justin in some seriously questionable situations. Take the infamous 2009 incident. Justin was just 15 when he reportedly spent 48 hours at Diddy's house. This wasn't a simple studio visit. Diddy later bragged about how they went buck crazy. Now, with Diddy facing serious trafficking and abuse allegations, people are re-examining that moment with fresh horror. Sources close to Justin say he wants nothing to do with Diddy today. And honestly, who could blame him? Insiders have long claimed Justin was thrown to the wolves, forced to navigate a predatory industry while his mother, either naive or overwhelmed, stood by. There's no doubt Patty loved her son, but many can understand why. Given her own history as a victim, she allowed Justin around people she barely knew. Some argue her past trauma clouded her judgment. Others say she was just doing her best. But let's be real, her life was already filled with chaos. And those early decisions shaped Justin's entire future. From day one, Patty was thrust into a world she didn't understand. No experience, no legal guidance, just her faith and desperate hope that she was making the right calls. But faith alone couldn't protect Justin. In her memoir, Patty admitted she was overwhelmed by the constant contracts and legal pressure. She also confessed something heartbreaking. She knew she was signing away Justin's childhood and still went through with it. Her reasoning? She believed God wouldn't have put her in that position unless she was meant to succeed. But did she succeed, or did she fail him? Because with one signature, she handed her teenage son over to Usher and Diddy. And now here we are. Usher once even joked about how he didn't just mentor Justin, he delivered him to LA like a gift. At just 14, 1 year later, Justin was spending nights at Diddy's place. Now that Diddy is facing serious allegations, fans are rethinking those early years and asking, did Patty unknowingly sell her son's innocence to an industry that chews up child stars and spits them out? Or was she just blind to the warning signs? What's clear is that Justin's relationship with Diddy didn't last. Somewhere along the way, he cut ties. But was it already too late? Justin's breakdowns, substance struggles, and identity battles didn't just come out of nowhere. Many believe they trace all the way back to the beginning. And at the center of it all is Patty. A loving mom, yes, but maybe also one who, knowingly or not, put her child in harm's way. And it doesn't stop there. Justin's dad, Jeremy Bieber, wasn't much better. He was in and out of Justin's life and once disappeared for an entire year when Justin was just 4. Still, the two reconnected later, with Justin saying he's closer to his dad than his mom now. But let's not sugarcoat it. Jeremy only showed up when it was convenient. Looking at the big picture, Justin wasn't just failed by his mom. He was failed by nearly every adult around him. And now the situation is getting even messier. A source recently revealed that Justin has been explicitly warned to avoid anything tied to Diddy. Around the same time, another insider said Justin's mental health has been spiraling. Oof. Again, the real question is, did Patty protect her son the way a mother should, or did she simply trust the wrong people? Looking back, the whole situation feels deeply unsettling. And as for the drama, it never ends. So, let me know what y'all think. Did Blake Lively really sabotage Penn Badgley's career? Is Alabama Barker doing too much? Or is Bad Baby just mad she got out-trapped? And what are your thoughts on this entire Justin Bieber situation? Drop your takes in the comments. I need to hear what y'all think. And if you're into this level of celebrity mess, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Trust me, the tea is only getting hotter, and you do not want to miss it.